Police have found some key evidence in the case of murdered model Jasmine Fiore, believed killed by her reality TV star ex-husband. CBS News national correspondent Hattie Kauffman reports.
One piece of the puzzle has been found. Jasmine Fiore's missing Mercedes was discovered in this Los Angeles parking lot, more than a week after her mutilated body was pulled from a dumpster. Meanwhile, in Canada, published reports say authorities have identified the mystery woman who helped accused killer Ryan Jenkins escape. According to the Canadian Broadcasting Company, his 20-year-old half-sister checked him into this motel in Hope, British Columbia. 3 days later, Jenkins was found dead in the room, a suicide. The car is important because police have never found a crime scene in the grisly murder of Fiore, whose fingers were cut off and teeth pulled out.
We're going to process it for evidence of a possible homicide.
Detectives hope the car will provide DNA evidence as to where Fiore was killed. Hattie Kauffman, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Joining us exclusively are two of Ryan Jenkins' closest friends, Dan and Eric, who asked that their last names not be used. Ryan's aunt, Linda Jenkins, is joining us exclusively from Calgary, Alberta, Canada this morning. Good morning to the three of you.
Good morning.
Linda, I'm going to start with you. If you could, just briefly describe Ryan for me.
Well, first, let me just say that this past while has been a surreal existence for our entire family, and that none of the events fits the Ryan that we knew and dearly loved. We are so devastated, and it's impossible for me to give you full details on 32 years of Ryan's life. He was a cherished member of our family, brought such joy and such happiness, and his witty humor and intelligence was just so outstanding. We're just traumatized that this has happened to our family.
Well, how surprised were you, and I guess how shocked were you when you heard these charges? These are brutal, brutal charges.
We were immensely shocked. As a matter of fact, we live in waves of disbelief. It's a nightmare for all of us. It's something that we just simply cannot accept, knowing the Ryan that we all grew up with and everything that was a part of his life.
And you say he was not on the run to Canada.
No, I just found this news out, or had it confirmed, I should say. He was not actually on the run, and it's important that people know that the whole time he was in contact with police. He gave them his license number. He told them where he was going. He okayed it. They said it was fine for him to do this. So he was not on the run. He was in touch with lawyers, and there was nothing unspoken about it.
Dan, Eric, let me bring the two of you in right now. You guys are close friends with both of them. You met Jasmine a number of times. What was it about this relationship? Why was it so volatile?
I think the relationship was it was off and on, like good and bad. Things were good. It was really good. Like, I mean, they were caring. They showed affection for each other. And I think the thing that kind of brought it down was the money situation, where one didn't have enough to pay for the meal one day, or one didn't have enough to go out for the next meal the next day. Or
I thought he was a millionaire, though. What was...
Well, Jasmine had high expectations. I didn't know Jasmine that well, so my relationship with her and my view on her was kind of through what Ryan had told me prior on the phone and when I met with him. But it just kind of seemed like her expectations were really high, and he would be able to satisfy them all the time.
Did you ever see any arguing, any fighting between the two?
I've seen it, yeah, in person. I mean, it was honestly the only time I had ever seen them fight. It was a money situation, or the credit card got declined at dinner, and it kind of makes you feel like something.
Did you ever think it would escalate to this, though? I mean, we're talking about someone who murdered his ex-wife.
This was completely shocking. I mean, just like what was said prior, I mean, utter disbelief. Like, I could never, ever imagine him doing anything like that. I mean, this isn't the guy that I knew at all, what he's being accused of.
So when you heard that he was on the run, accused of murder, and then committed suicide, what are your thoughts, apparently?
At first, I thought that when I heard it from a friend and he told me to go to the CNN website and check it out, I mean, I thought it was a mistake of identity. I thought it couldn't be him, I mean, he was the kind of guy who was loving, caring, you could trust him. Like, why would he want to hurt someone he loved, I mean,
did it ever surprise you that he got involved with shows like this Megan Wants a Millionaire and this I Love Money 3?
No, that was Ryan's dream. Ryan's dream was Los Angeles. Even when he came back, after having been down there for a while after the first reality show, I mean, this was just what he wanted to do. I can't explain. I've never met anybody that wanted to do this so much, be in LA and do what he was doing.
Do you think it kind of clouded his judgment, got a little too caught up with the relationship? Like you said, it was volatile. They did argue a lot.
I think so. I think to me, Ryan seemed like he fell in love, and he was just so in love with this girl. But it just seemed like it was a roller coaster relationship. It was just had its high ups and low downs.
Linda, let me bring you in before we say goodbye here. I know you're speaking on behalf of the family. There were reports that Ryan's sister, Elena, did check him into the hotel. Was that the case, in fact?
I'm not going to say anything about that. As a matter of fact, I want everybody to leave my niece alone. She's just a young, innocent, lovely woman, and she's devastated. She's suffering in agony at the loss of her brother. So I'm not going to speak about that at all.
And just one last question for you, Linda. I know you said the family said he was not on the run. With this apparent suicide, it just doesn't seem to mesh. If he was in contact with the law enforcement agencies and his attorneys, why would he then ultimately take his life? Do you have any idea?
I really think, in my opinion, that when Ryan was in the hotel room, he was actually, told to wait until Monday. He would go in with his lawyer to the authorities, and then they would go through of setting bail. But when he was by himself in that hotel room, I think that was the first contact he actually had with the media, with the television, to see the horror, the picture, the things that were being said about him. And I think he was terrified beyond belief, and it just seemed to push him over the edge that he was never going to be able to walk away or prove his innocence with the smear of what was going on about him.
Okay.
And it was just so terribly unfair.
Linda, thank you very much for taking the time from Calgary for us this morning. We do appreciate it. Dan, Eric, thank you to the both of you
Thank you
for taking the time.